Hi all, welcome to another video of Form Director. In this integration we will introduce you Form Director integration with Sage Accounting. With this integration you can create or update contacts, services, products, sales invoices and purchase invoices. So let's start with creating a contact in Sage. I have a Google form called Create Sage Contact and there are some form fields such as name, reference, notes, credit limit, credit days, and address fields. On a submission on this form I will create a contact in my Sage account. To do this, launch Form Director, click on Start Setup and either choose or search for Sage. Now mention the service name, choose a service from the service list, here we choose Create. We need to authorize Form Director to execute service on our behalf. To do this, click on Connect and authorize Form Director by mentioning your login credentials. Form Director is now connected with Sage. Choose Sage Business and the section where you want to create a record. I have chosen Contact. Now we need to set up the mapping. It helps us to configure what values we want for Google Form fields for app fields. Here name, reference, notes, credit limit, credit days, and main address fields are mapped with corresponding form fields. Contact type mapped with the help of template mapping. You can choose either customer or vendor. Save your configured service. Now, this Google form will create a contact when this form submit. Let's demonstrate this. Provide all required details and submit this form. The form submission create a new contact in our authorized Sage account. That's all for creating a contact. Now let's see how to create a sales invoice for a contact. We have another Google form for sales invoices and there are some form fields in the form such as contact name, date, invoice lines, and notes. To configure service, open Form Director, choose or search Sage, mention your service name, authorize with Sage account, and choose the section as sales invoice. Now set up mapping. Select either the contact name or his ID, date, and notes and configure invoice items fields. A sales invoice contains line items. You can either choose the invoice lines field or other invoice lines fields such as description, quantity, unit price, and tax rate to configure invoice lines. If you want multiple lines, choose invoice lines. I have a Google Sheet for invoice line items that contain items and their corresponding ledger account name, quantity, unit price, and tax rate name. We need to configure this sheet in such a way that on form submission chosen items configure their description, ledger account, unit price, tax rate, etc. To do this, map the invoice line field with the sheet items column and map the corresponding fields. You can choose a default value for the items that are not matched. And use check lookup to test whether values are constructed or not. Now mapping other fields such as invoice prefix, invoice number, notes, terms and condition. Save configured service and let's demonstrate this by submitting a form. Fill required details in Google Forms such as contact name and date, and select invoice line items those you want in your sales invoice. These selected line items will get their description, ledger account name, tax rate, and unit price from the Google Sheet we have configured in mapping. Now fill in other required details and submit the form. This form submission creates a new sales invoice in Sage. Users can create or update contact, product, service, and invoice with this integration in Sage Accounting. Hope this integration gives you extreme value and do not hesitate to contact us if face any issues. Goodbye.